Hello, welcome to the Live, Love, Laugh Lives with myself, Cheryl Chapman, where I'm speaking to amazing, beautiful human souls who are going to share with us how they live, how they love and how they laugh every day. And today I'm joined by an incredible lady. Can't wait for her to share exactly what it is that she does, because she's helping a lot of people in the world right now. So please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name's Lema Daley and I'm all sorts of things. I've decided to coin myself as a wellbeing facilitator because I'm actually qualified as a social worker, and I've been doing that role for longer than I care to admit sometimes. You can ask me about that later if you want, but I'm not divulging right now. And I feel that health has been like the main focus of my journey and career, and has brought me to now being here. So good to see you.
And so welcome and thank you for your time in coming to see us. So in terms of what it is that you do, how do you live your day at the moment? What is it that Lema does right now?
Well, I've started to be a lot more purposeful and routine, but not boring, in the sense of making sure I get enough rest, because I know that in the past what I've been doing is a lot of busyness, and in the sense of feeling too knackered to do a lot of stuff, but still doing more and more. And so I've slowed down a lot, and in terms of I've started swimming. I could swim a bit, but I would never be that confident in the water. But what I've been learning as well is about breathing in the water, not in the water, but as you swim, you do breathe and you breathe out in the water. So I've been learning about that and how my body really needs that space, that time, that refresh. So I'm enjoying that, and I think that that's been one of the main things that I've been doing, particularly this year. I think I started this year with a detox and cleanse, and that really set me up for the year. And then like March came and
everything changed in 2020, didn't it? Yeah. And so in terms of what you do as a role in your profession, I know you've recently done a talk about how to get balance back into your life. And is that what you've been doing with regards to the swimming and the breathing? Because did you have a busy job before?
Totally. I mean, I worked as a social worker for a long time, and then did different things in terms of children and families, safeguarding. And what I was finding is that it was easy not to make time for myself. You come in at various hours and plonk stuff down, not eat properly, watch something on TV and then go to bed and then start the whole process again. Yeah, and so I was finding losing myself in that space in a way, and a lot of people were saying a similar sort of thing, and people were just longing for the weekends, and I thought, that's no way to live life. So it started to make me think I've got to see what it is that I can do to change things. And then because I'd done some psychotherapy training as well, I started to implement some of the skills that I'd learnt there, although I never formally worked as a psychotherapist, because I really loved my social work role. And I started to integrate some of those things in terms of actually just getting that, rethinking how I do my day, how I live, and getting that balance in place.
Great. And the programme that you've created is called?
It's called the Life Work Balance Blueprint.
Says what it does on the tin, which is fabulous.
Yes, because I think, and I've called it the life work balance because we often talk about work-life balance, and for me it's just the wrong way round. Because we have to have and maintain and optimise our life situation to be able to do anything. So that really has started over a number of years, but I think more recently I've put it into a proper formula. Yes.
And so the people that you are helping and supporting with that programme, who's it designed for?
Right. Well, my starting point was social workers, but whilst I was seeing some clients as a therapist, people were coming to me with a lot of stress-related issues, anxiety, clinical depression sometimes, and they were in, a lot of them were in the public sector, so many were teachers, lecturers, so in the education field, some were in health, and even though they were good in maintaining and supporting people in their health or in their various roles, they weren't that good at doing it for themselves. And so it was about putting the mirror on their own situation and how best they could learn and maintain their own health and well-being in that process.
I remember Marissa Peer, who I trained with, once saying it's all about, giving and taking. So like you don't just breathe in, or you don't just breathe out all the time. You have to do a bit of both. And I think, particularly people who are in the caring sector anyway, it's kind of like, I suppose, I suppose there's a bit of a tendency to want to go and help other people, and help them to be better, and then forget about themselves as well. Just from that giving kind of nature.
Yeah, and I think that's people go into the role because they do want to make a difference. They're passionate about that, and that's great because that's what we need. We need people that love their work, that are passionate about it. But then there's the tipping point where you can become compassion fatigued. It's like if the scale tips over, then you're in that situation of burnout, which is absolutely not where you want to go.
No. Well, you can't help anybody else while you're in that space.
That's right. You can just about help yourself, because I know that in the past when I've been on that borderline, I felt like it's been an effort to get out of work. You want to get out of work because you can't get out of bed. So then it's like, what do I do? Because, it was really quite, various things happen in life. Life happens. It's not just about work. So for me, I had to rethink how I'm going to do this if I'm going to do the job and the work that I love. And then I started to work with other people in actually them developing their own strategies using the life-work balance blueprint. So, and then there are other elements really about getting that clarity, and that's what I spoke about before, is about the Kickstart Clear Vision Creator, because that's your starting point to actually get clear in what it is that you want to do. And sometimes if you don't just take that time to stop and think about that, you'll still be continuing to do things that aren't helpful. Absolutely. They're taking you to the tipping point.
It's like life just happens to you, doesn't it? Because it's like, well, I don't really know whether or not I want to do this or not. Oh, well, I'll just go along with the flow. Yeah. And then before you know it, you're somewhere that you didn't even plan on being.
That's
but
right.
Like you kind of just got there.
Yeah, and you know that that's not where you really want to be, but then it continues. And a lot of people do that for the whole cycle of their career and just can't wait to retire. And I think life is too short to be living like that, but it's also not long enough if that's how you are living. So it's about really for people to take stock, to get clear, to actually look and reevaluate about their own health, what they want, what they are passionate about, what's inside. So there's that dimension where you're doing that focus, but you can't focus in the noise and the buzz of things. So for me, what was important is just taking that time. So I have some quiet time in the mornings, and really I've slowed down so much because I realised I was doing all sorts of training, travelling different places. I love my holidays, so that's really important. So I started to combine retreat holidays with travelling and stuff. So that's been really good. So to go to the Caribbean, I had a really great retreat place in Costa Rica a couple of years ago. And just sometimes just sitting by the sea and like listening to the waves and looking at the sky, it's all you need to do. It's perfect.
And in terms of this blueprint that you've created, are there a number of steps in this blueprint that you've created?
Yes, there are. As I say, the first one is the Kickstart Clarity Creator. And then the other elements are about actually just taking stock. So there's the wholeness, the holistic well-being, in terms of looking at health, nutrition, the exercise factors, but also the spiritual dimension as well, so that people are connecting in with themselves. And the final bit is about your autonomy. So it's the actively achieving autonomy and knowing, because you know what that looks like, you know when you've arrived. But it's not just a final destination either. It's something that you practice and work on all the time, to be in yourself, your whole self, doing what you do for the people that you serve in terms of your role either as a social worker, a teacher or a health practitioner, because it's a busy world, and actually care for the caretaker is really critical.
Yeah. Absolutely. Brilliant. So we know what you do in terms of how you live your life. We know what you love, because I can tell you're really passionate about helping others that have been in that situation that you found yourself in, and also loving life now, which is great. Loving the fact that you go on retreats and things. And what about what makes you laugh, though? What makes you laugh?
All sorts of stupid things, really. I love these glasses that I have, and they're my Elvis ones. Right, yeah. So one time I think we were having a Zoom call at work, and I was just like, excuse me, right? And then I put my glasses on, and Elvis is back in the building. They have got long sideburns. Yeah. So, you know, because the meetings can be a bit heavy and serious, and I'm like, I can't do this for 2 hours. So I just think really finding fun in any moment, you know, and because it's just all sorts of things, really. But sometimes in terms of the work that we're doing, there are some like really heavy moments. And so I think sometimes it's just about finding a moment of joy and fun, because you kind of have to break the tension of the stress factors that can be there. Heavy, yeah. Because one of my clients who's a psychiatric nurse says they always just like go out together because the humour is just beyond what most people might find acceptable, but it helps get them through that stress, because it you know, the demands of it are you know, quite considerable. So anything. I laugh about all sorts of things.
I heard a saying, I think it goes something along the lines of don't take life too seriously, because nobody gets out alive anyway. So that's pretty much a good one. Yes. Lema, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing. I know you've done a talk recently, so I hope people will look at your presentation as well to get to know you a little bit more, and how you can help them to bring life-work balance back into their life with your blueprint. So thank you so much. Thank you to everybody watching. And of course, we will leave you now just by saying, hope that you can live, love and laugh every day yourself. Thank you so much.